I wasn't expecting to come up tonight, but I came to support my friend Suzanne. But when I heard that the subject was love, a story came to me. Now I have to preface this by saying that I have an unusual profession. I'm a street performer. I'm a clown. And I'm based here at Faneuil Hall, and I've been doing it almost 20 years. But I work all in makeup, white-faced with a nose and wig and the whole thing, and I love what I do, and I work with little children, and I do a show that what I'm known for is working 5 or 6 hours at a time and taking the families as they come to me with the kids. And I work here, but I travel in the off-season. And I can pretty much, because of what I do, I can travel anywhere I want and pick a place. So in the off seasons I wound up, among other places, going to Spain, to Barcelona, to the Ramblas of Barcelona. And I went for 9 seasons altogether. And every time I went, I had a hotel room on the 3rd floor overlooking the Ramblas, which is where all the performers are. And I could look out and see the crowds and see when it was just the prime time to go down and perform. And I loved it, and I got big crowds. And being a clown in makeup, I didn't start performing till I was 35 years old. My parents were dead. I had no one left to really embarrass. I could go out and do what I wanted. And it's hard when you travel around that much and do what I do to expect a love life to happen to you. I was approaching 40, it was quick. We're talking about February, and I did festivals there. And I'm performing one day on a Saturday, and I'm looking up at the crowd, and on the side there's this beautiful woman in her 20s, long hair down to here, gorgeous figure, beautiful face, amazing. And she's watching what I do. And I go back to the crowd, giving them my attention, and I look up again in an hour, and she's there. And she's waiting, and she's sitting on the side watching everything I do, smiling. She just loves it. It was fabulous. And when I finally finished the show at night, she came over to me, and I said, did you enjoy it? She says, I just love what you did. You're just fantastic. She didn't know what I looked like underneath any of it. She didn't know that I was 39 years old, and she was 25. And I said, let me change. I stay upstairs, and I'll take you for dinner. I have to eat now after work. So I took her hand, and we took my stuff, and we went up to my room, and we went out on the balcony. And I wanted to show her the whole city and impress her with my city, Barcelona. And we went out on the balcony and we looked up, and just as we looked out, on top of the church, the cathedral in the Plaza del Pi up there, suddenly the light went on and there was a Jewish star up there on top of the cathedral. And I said, that's my star. And she said, me too. And I said, you're Jewish too? And she said, yes. She says, I'm from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. And she's a grad student, and she was on a Eurail pass, going from city to city on her wild European vacation. So I said, this is great, I'll show you the city, it'll be wonderful. And I took her to all the clubs I knew, and we had the most wonderful meals, and we walked hand in hand, hugging and kissing all over. I won't go into everything else, but it was the time of my life. Whatever this girl wanted, she could have. My mother used to say about older men looking at younger women, she'd say, he looked at her like she was ice cream. Anyway, it was just incredible, with pictures that I'll have forever. And my love chemicals got going. Those love chemicals that block up your mind and your soul and your body and everything else. And finally she said to me on the 4th day, I have to get back on the train and I have to go and continue my trip. I said, here's my phone number. When you get to the next stop and you have some time, call me back and we'll see what happens. And she went off, and after the 10th day, and I didn't get the call, I sort of decided maybe it wasn't going to happen. But I remembered her name. Her name was Roxana Karina Torchinsky. And 10 years later, when my marriage ended, I didn't know where to go, and I decided I would go to Argentina and find her. And I went to Buenos Aires, and I looked through the phone book, and I called every Torchinsky in Buenos Aires, and I finally got a cousin of hers. And I said, what is she doing now? I said, she's married with an 8-year-old son. And I didn't call her, but I just had to know what had happened to Roxana Karina Torchinsky.